This axis is showing angle of deviation, and this is angle of incidence. So here there is one relation. When you increase angle of incidence, so for some time you will notice angle of deviation will decrease, and after reaching one point, okay, it will again start increasing. So this point where deviation is minimum is called as angle of minimum deviation. So what is angle of minimum deviation? It is the lowest value of deviation that any prism can produce. Okay. So for every prism, there is one smallest deviation, this value till where it can come. It can't go below that. Okay. For every prism, one fixed value will be there. Okay. That value is called as angle of minimum deviation. Okay, Kushali, this is very important diagram. Okay. And when angle of deviation is minimum, you will notice two things. Okay. When angle of deviation is minimum, means when angle of deviation is equal to minimum deviation. So in that case, you will notice this refracted ray. So this is incident ray, this is refracted ray, and this is emergent ray. So here you will notice that refracted ray in prism is exactly parallel to the base. Otherwise, refracted ray can be down or up. But here it is exactly parallel to base. Okay, and one more thing. Okay, let us make this exactly parallel bus. Okay, so when angle of deviation is minimum, that time refracted ray in prism is exactly parallel to the base, and that time we will notice angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence. Normally it is not equal. Okay, only in this case, angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence. In glass slab, angle of incidence is always equal to angle of emergence. Okay, here angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence only when angle of deviation is minimum. Okay, so if they ask you, state your observation when angle of deviation is minimum for a prism. Okay, so there are two observations. What, Kushali? First one is when angle of deviation is minimum, that time refracted ray in prism. Refracted ray parallel. Yes, it's exactly parallel to the base. And second thing, in this scene, angle I will be same as angle E. Angle I is equal to angle E. Okay. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence. So what is our prism formula? If you remember, A plus delta is equal to I plus E. Okay, so now if delta is minimum, so can I write A plus delta M is equal to I plus I? Because I is equal to E, or you can say E plus E. So finally I can say A plus delta M is equal to 2i. Okay, so this is prism formula when angle of deviation is minimum. Okay, normal formula is what? A plus delta is equal to I plus E. But when angle of deviation is minimum, that time you can use this formula also. Basically, this formula is same only. Okay. Now, second factor affecting angle of deviation is angle of prism. Angle of prism. Okay. Suppose see, this is on prism. Okay. This is angle of prism. Now, if I increase angle of prism, so this prism will become thicker or thin? Thicker. Okay, fine. Because as angle of this prism is increasing, refracting edges will move away from each other. So prism will become thicker. Okay, that means ray of light will stay in prism for a long time. Means they will travel with less speed for more time. Okay, so that means they will bend more. Okay, because they are having less speed for more time. So they are slow. Okay, so it will bend more. Okay, so we can say angle of prism A is directly proportional to angle of deviation. Okay, so with increase in angle of prism, angle of deviation will increase. Now, third factor is refractive index. What is the meaning of refractive index? Sakshi?
Refractive index of medium to refractive index of
No, that is the basically refractive index means what? It is the ability of a medium to bend ray of light. When refractive index is more, bending is more.
What is the unit of refraction?
No unit because it is a pure ratio. Okay, so definition is what? It is the ratio of speed of light in air or vacuum to speed of light in medium. Okay, but simple meaning of refractive index is what? It is the ability of a medium to bend ray of light. Okay, so more refractive means more bending. Therefore, I can say refractive index mu is directly proportional to deviation. So more refractive index, more deviation. Okay. Then last factor is wavelength. Wavelength. Okay. Wavelength means what? Distance between two waves. Okay. So tell me if wavelength is more, bending will be more or less. Last class, if you remember, I gave example. Arohi walking with one tall guy. Okay, so when Arohi, okay, so when like Arohi is say they both
Taking one step, he is
Huh.
taking two steps.
she is taking two steps. The tall guy is taking one step. Means longer leg will take one step, and to maintain his speed, you have to run. Okay, you will change your frequency. Okay, but on refraction, frequency never change. Okay, frequency never change on refraction because frequency depend on what? Source of light. It doesn't depend on medium through where it is through which it is passing. Okay, so now if wavelength is less, of course speed is less. If speed is less means bending is more. Okay, so this wavelength is inversely proportional to angle of deviation. So when wavelength is more, deviation is less. Okay. So these are the four factors affecting angle of deviation. Very, very important question. Okay, again I am repeating last time. What is angle of deviation? Angle of deviation is the angle formed between